This episode of Push Rim Life After Injury has been brought to you by Receive All. New possibilities for some, less pain and fatigue for others. For more information, visit them at receive-all.com. Welcome to Push Rim Life After Injury podcast, recorded June 3rd, 2014, episode 42, Rancho Adaptive Outdoor Adventures. I'm Ray Pizarro.
I'm Richard Bell.
We want to thank our audience for being with us. These podcasts were created to talk about spinal cord injury related topics, disability resources, and also spotlight individuals that found ways to get past their challenges and now are a great source of inspiration. On this episode, our friends Juan, GARIBAY, and Becky, BERSHTEL will be discussing all about Rancho's Adaptive Outdoor Adventure program and all the fun activities. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to ask you how you got injured and, where'd you go to rehab and all that good stuff.
I actually got injured back in 1993. I was shot. I was 20 years old. Went to Rancho to do my rehab. I was there for like 3 months. After 3 months, I went home and tried to put my life back together. It took some time to do that. It wasn't until maybe like in 1995 that I started getting involved with the sports program at Rancho, and that was just a big eye opener for me. It helped me deal with a lot of anger, a lot of doubt that I had at the time of who I was and who I could be at the time.
And how long were you at rehab for?
I was there for 3 months. One
Yeah.
month just in bed, trying to recover. Then 2 months of straight physical therapy, and then after that I went home.
Yeah, likewise. I was there 3 months also. I guess that's the standard time.
Well, it used to be, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's 3 months anymore.
Are you serious? Longer? Or?
Shorter.
It is.
Oh, my goodness.
I did 3 months myself at Long Beach Memorial, so...
Yeah, that's not even enough. That's not enough.
No.
That wasn't enough for me, but...
I think it's more like a month now, maybe.
I think it is, yeah.
Something
I think it's
like
like
that.
2 to 3 weeks for a para and like up to a month to 6 weeks for a quad.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah, everything's based on insurance these days,
It is.
As long as you can breathe on your own, basically you're ready to go home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what was the most challenging part of your rehab stay? Do you remember, like going through it all and back in the day?
I think the hardest part was just, accepting the fact that I wasn't going to walk again and trying to be the same person that I was before I was shot.
Gotcha.
Coming to terms with that I wasn't that anymore, and trying to piece my life back, to see where I could go with it.
Yeah, mine was like depending on people. That was my biggest issue. A grown guy, I was 20, you're self-sufficient, and just having everyone come dress you, turn you, to help with your bowels, your bladder, all that stuff was like hard to just get over it. People, you're laying there, they're doing everything for you, and that was the hardest part for me.
After you got out, is there any one particular event that kind of jarred you enough, shook you enough to make you want to, get back out and start doing things like you did before?
Yeah, it was actually Rancho.
Okay.
Playing sports with Ken Cook, one of the therapists there at Rancho. I remember one. So I was coming for an appointment, and before that, he always used to, every time he see me, he would like, "Why don't you come out and play? You should play hockey with us. We got a team. You should come out." And I like brushed him off, just because I was 21 at the time, and I don't want to hear that, And then that one time, it was just, all right, Ken, I have nothing else to do. I was trying to go to college, but I wasn't really committed to it. I was just there trying to, pick up on girls, whatever, party and stuff like that. So that one time, I all right, let's play, and got hooked. Been playing sports ever since for the last 15, 17 years, something like that.
Good for
Awesome.
you, man. That's great. That's a good way of breaking those mental roadblocks we have, right? Of getting out of our comfort zone, because all we know is chair and bed, basically, right?
Yeah.
Once they get you in a sports chair, a kayak, or some other things, and that's when you
Well, it opens up, it opened up my world, just because I saw people that were here longer than I was, and, they were doing just amazing things, and, great athletes and stuff like that. So it definitely opened up my eyes to, wheelchair skills and just the possibility of, what you could really do with your life.
Good.
Yeah, because it's the interaction with the other players.
Yeah.
And that leads us to Becky. So we want to find out what made you get into the field of recreational therapy. What led you to jump into that field?
Well, I have never heard of recreation therapy before. I went to college at Fresno State, and I knew I wanted to do something with people or something maybe outdoors. I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to be in a classroom. And a couple of years into it, I got a flyer in the mail, and it showed people with disabilities doing outdoor activities like rock climbing and horseback riding, whitewater rafting. I was like, this is a major. You can major in this. It's called recreation therapy, or therapeutic recreation, it's sometimes called.
Right.
And so I went to meet the head of the department and kind of started taking some of the classes. I completely love the classes. And I just, went for it. I finished my degree and got into the field.
Congratulations. So how long have you been at Rancho for?
At Rancho since 2007, so about 7 years.
Good deal.
That sounds like a neat field for people who don't want to have a job where they have to sit at a desk. And
Correct.
if I saw that, I probably would have maybe took a shot at it also. Yeah, I never like to sit still.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really rewarding too, helping people and getting back into their life again, basically, and
Right.
seeing how recreation is a part of that transitional stage, right? Of integrating people back into the community. So.
And it's a very small field. That's probably why you don't usually hear about it. It's kind of one of the therapy components, but probably the least well known. So I think getting the word out about it is good too for potential future people, who would want to major in that or work in the field.
Right.
So if someone were to go to Rancho to try to, explore some outdoor activities, how would that process go?
Well, Rancho has had a recreation therapy program for a long time, and that's for the inpatients, and we haven't really had it for the outpatients as much. We recently started the Outdoor Adventure program, and this program is for former patients at Rancho.
Okay.
And this is just a way for them to challenge themselves and try new things and get outdoors and just kind of experience the world in a different way.
So that they can just come and sign up?
So there's a few different requirements besides having been a patient before, which means you have to have a Rancho number. It could be as an inpatient or an outpatient. You have to be a current wellness center member, and you have to have completed your inpatient or outpatient program. In other words, you can't be an inpatient to do this program. You have to have discharge off grounds.
Okay.
We have a new exception this year or recently where we do allow the peer mentors and the life coaches through the No Barriers program to also participate, even if they weren't patients at Rancho before.
Nice.
Because we want this population to really spread the word about it, and even if they weren't patients before, we think this is a really key group to participate and then, tell people about it.
Cool. Now, Juan, what was? Could you name a couple places that you've been through, like that really? I mean, you mentioned wheelchair hockey.
Wheelchair hockey, football, basketball now, and skiing. And
now, what were the outdoor adventure programs that you first?
Colorado and kayaking at Sunset Beach. The first time I went out there, it was such a thrill because I never done kayaking, and I always wanted to try it. So I got the chance to do it with the Outdoor Adventures, and the first day I went into the water.
Okay, so tell us, how did that go? Because right away I'm thinking balance, right? Our balance is compromised. We're afraid of falling out of our chairs, and you're on a kayak with little waves throwing you left and right, and you're trying to paddle at the same time. So tell me how that was for you.
It was fun. It wasn't as scary as you know when you think about it. Your mind tends to play those kind of tricks on you. But once I did it, it was stable. I mean,
did you fall out that day?
I fell off because I was goofing around.
Okay, you were hot dogging, right?
No, I was just goofing around, and I remember
trying to start a water fight or something. I think
I remember falling, and I'm in the water, right? And I'm like, okay, don't panic. The therapist is gonna come in the water, and I look up, and they're like, just looking at me, like, all right, well, get out.
Oh man!
You put yourself in that situation, get yourself out.
Yeah,
First thing he thought about was balance. First thing I thought about was drowning.
you were wearing your life jacket, right?
Yes, I was. Yes,
so they won't let you drown.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get in the water. I haven't been in the water in the ocean anyways for years, so that was a nice way to break into it, I guess.
Did they have like a special seat to give you lower back support, or was it just
Actually,
open back?
yes, some of the kayaks do have that, a higher backrest.
Okay.
I actually, sometimes I'll bring my own cushion, so I could just put it on the kayak and transfer into my own cushion.
Yeah, and you just made an important point about cushions. Like anything you transfer onto, it's really important to have a pad or some kind of even an extra cushion, which most of us have already, just for those, to sit on different things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's good that you brought that with you. And
the therapist actually also had some extra
Oh,
foams
okay.
and all that, so that was, like
okay.
actually cool to if in case I didn't bring mine, they were prepared. So
Yeah,
that
'cause,
was really cool.
Yeah, having a pressure sore is not very adventurous.
No, it's not.
And the thing with kayaking is it's not really, the boat itself is not adapted to, have pontoons or something on the side that keeps it from tipping over. So we do tell people to be prepared to be in the water, maybe, to know how to swim. We do have a rowing program, an adaptive rowing program that we go to, and those boats are adapted. They have pontoons and they're very
Nice.
safe. So if you're somebody who doesn't, feel comfortable with the possibility of swimming, then the rowing program is a really good one to start off with.
yeah, that's like maybe your starting point, and then gradually work up to the independent kayaking
Right.
things. Now, dude, I'm always thinking about restrooms whenever I go out. So if you're out in the water for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden nature calls where you have to cath or IC yourself, I mean, did you end up having to do it on the kayak, like go to the corner of a dock and then in your
I actually
in your
went
kayak?
before I went into the kayak.
Okay. But have you thought about it? Like if
have.
you're in the middle of cathing, would you have to do it on the boat? Or
If
do
I
you
have
bring
to,
a
yeah.
catheter with you?
I'll bring a cath if I
Okay.
have to, and if I have to do it, I'm gonna excuse myself, roll away, and find some privacy and do what
Be
I
like,
need to
excuse
do.
me, guys, I'm gonna take a break. Look the other way, and give me a heads up if a boat
shark or
passes
something,
by.
yeah.
A boat passes by. So
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody that goes on these trips are, pretty much people that you already know. So, people always looking out for you and vice versa, So all you got to do, just speak up. And therapists as well as, participants, are going to watch out for you and you do what you need to do.
cool.
And we're in the boat, in the kayak for no more than an hour usually. Those are shorter. Something like deep sea fishing where you're on the boat for 5 hours is something to think about, and the bathrooms on those boats are not really accessible. So that would be, something where you'd have to be maybe comfortable just going into the corner and,
Taking care of
doing it.
business.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where that
Oh, no.
privacy tent comes in.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
if you're a quad, you're pretty much comfortable because you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So
They understand. I mean, they know we're in a chair, we can't get access to the restroom. They're common sense. They give you that privacy window, and
They do. I never had a problem in any of these outdoor adventures regarding, bathrooms and stuff like that. I'm also lucky enough to have a big bladder, so I'm able to hold it for a few hours.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, that's
really good.
It is.
That's
it
a
is.
blessing.
Yeah, it is.
Some
It is.
people can't hold it as long, and it happens. We have accidents. A lot of people get what is it called? Scared to go out and try these adventures a lot of times because of those issues. Their bowel care, their bladder care. That's why it's so important to get that under control. And once you have a regular routine where okay, I'll cath before and I could wait 2 or 3 hours before I have to go again.
Exactly.
Or my bowel program, do it in the mornings or do it at night. Do it every day, every other day, whatever works, but as long as you get on a routine.
Yeah, that's that's the biggest factor, finding that what works for you.
Yeah,
and
then you could go
take
out.
advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm still looking because my bowels have a mind of their own. I'm thinking everything is good. Then I get transferred into, say, a rugby chair, and things happen. But I guess that's life, huh?
Yeah.
So we got to
I
deal
think
with.
so. You just pick yourself up and keep pushing, right? I mean, if you had control, you wouldn't
Make
be
some
doing
jokes,
it. So, yeah,
You got to make fun of yourself, man, because if not, you go crazy.
you're not the first, and you won't be the last.
Yeah. So as far as your outdoor, what other like sports or things are available for people? I know I noticed like some hot air ballooning and billiards. Is that part of it also?
Right, so I'll just kind of give you the list of what we do right
Okay.
now, and we can always add new things, and we're always looking to kind of see what else is out there. But right now we do have adaptive outdoor cycling, we do adaptive rock climbing, adaptive rowing, surfing, bowling, fishing, deep sea fishing, adaptive golf. We do kayaking. The balloon ride is in Orange County. It's the orange balloon that goes up. It's actually tethered. You go up to about 400 feet, and it's wheelchair accessible. The whole thing is wheelchair
Sweet.
accessible.
So you don't have to transfer.
No,
Just roll
Excellent. I might try that.
in. Yeah.
that's a fun one. You really see all the area. It's really cool. We also do sailing, therapeutic horseback riding, whale watching, and we have 2 summer and winter programs where we actually go on trips to Colorado, Crested Butte, Colorado, to their adaptive sports center, and to Big Bear, to the U.S.
Wow.
Adaptive Recreation Center.
Now, how do you get to
awesome.
Colorado? Do you get a big van with, or do you fly? Or,
We do fly, yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
fly.
we fly.
That'll be like a 2-day trip or what? A
a
24
It's actually
hour
just a
trip?
couple hours flight from here.
Couple hours, yeah. But
And then it's a couple hour drive, but
yeah, if I got on the bus, man, with all them bumps, I'd be ready to make a U-turn and come back, dude. I'd be all sore. You know those big old buses we roll in, like in the back.
It's a smooth ride actually in Colorado. They don't have that many bumps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
and
very.
Okay.
they have their
smooth.
own vehicles
Yeah.
that are pretty comfortable.
Well, just getting
wheelchair
out of LA will
accessible.
have me beat, man. Just the LA part of it, all the potholes, issues we're having, and
And
be
how,
well worth
how
it,
long
though.
is the stay in Colorado?
The Colorado trip is 5 days of actual activity and then 1 day each for travel. So you leave on a Sunday and come back on a Saturday, and then it's 5 complete days of programming. So in the
Wow.
winter, it's skiing all week, adaptive skiing, and then in the summer, it's a variety: horseback riding, kayaking, canoeing, a challenge ropes course, mountain biking, and downhill mountain biking. And
how-
Juan went on the summer trip this
Yeah.
last year.
I had a blast.
How was
They
that?
were,
What kind of activities did you do?
We did all those she just mentioned: the kayaking, canoeing, zip lining, horseback riding.
Zip line.
Zip
Yeah.
lining.
Yeah,
How was that?
That's what
dude?
I'm talking about.
it was scary.
Yeah, sounds
first,
scary.
At first, you know, because you just kind of dangle and you're like, whoa, man, you know, is this thing really going to hold me up
If
there?
one
you know?
thing snaps, I'm
yeah,
screwed,
seriously,
right?
seriously. But, you know, fear, and we overcame the fear, and it was a lot of fun, you know. The
You
people-
weren't? Were you the first guy to go down, or you let a couple
No,
guys
I
go
let a few,
first?
yeah, well, actually, I think I might have been the first one.
Really? Oh, now I see why you were scared.
Yeah, I think
You were
I
the
was.
test dummy, probably.
I think so, yeah. But you know, it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. Those are things that I never did before.
Good.
So it was a great way to experience it in Colorado. It was just beautiful, you know.
It's so nice when you could do these things and see, like, wow, I could get back into doing what we used to do as able-bodied people
Mhm.
now. And
Yeah.
it's nice when you could take your girlfriends, your wives, friends with you and experience those things together. It's like you can't really explain how good that is.
Yeah, and then the friends that go with you, I think that's also makes it more fun, because you compete with each other, challenge
Yeah.
each other, and
Talk trash.
Yeah,
Be like,
pretty
hey, I
much.
beat you up the hill, or why are you taking so long? And
yeah. At the end of the trip, I think it was kind of like that. It was two group of us that were just talking smack to each other regarding the downhill biking and all that, So
yeah, there's one question I have regarding another question, the Outdoor Adventure program. Is there a fee for these? Are some free? Do some you have to pay for some? How does that work?
That's a great question. That some of them are free and some of them are costly, but none of them are really expensive. Probably the most expensive day trip is the deep sea fishing. So if you paid for everything, which would be the license, the equipment rental, and the boat tickets, about $55 for about a 5-hour trip. The rowing program is free. The therapeutic horseback riding is free. Things like billiards or bowling, you pay for your game, but it's minimal, like $3 for bowling, $6 an hour for billiards. Golf is free. Cycling is free. Kayaking is, I want to say $9 or $10 an hour.
Okay.
And I think sailing is $10, but they're pretty low cost, the day ones. The trips are more costly.
Mm-hmm.
So Colorado is a $15,000 trip to send 8 participants and 2 staff. And that one has been funded through the Rose Hills Foundation, has given us a grant for that in the past. And
Wow.
we're hoping to get that again this year.
Bless their
to
hearts.
do the winter
Yeah.
and summer.
Yeah, that's a good thing they're doing out there.
And then
So for quadriplegics, the winter program would probably be more beneficial because the summer activities seem a little
more challenging.
for
Yeah.
somebody with less trunk control and hand control.
Right, and yeah, it depends on the activity. In the calendar here that we put out every month, there's a whole list of things that requirements of physical requirements, and tells you the cost and everything. But For the overnight trips, we want you to be independent with mobility and independent with self-care, and at least a year post-injury or illness, so that you're stable and you're ready to do something like a flight or a long road trip. The winter program is skiing, adaptive skiing, for both Colorado and Big Bear, and they have all kinds of adaptive equipment. Sit-down skis, which include bi-skis and mono skis. They have stand-up equipment for people who could stand, but maybe their balance isn't as good. They have, Colorado actually has something called a ski bike, which looks like a bike, but it's got skis on the bottom, and then you have skis on your 2 feet, and you just kind of ride it like a bike down the hill. That's really fun.
Now, do they have like volunteers or something for helping people transfer, say, into a sit ski or a
Right.
sled and stuff like that? Because sometimes higher level quads are a little challenging to get people in and out.
Yeah, their staff assists with the transfers for those trips, because they're through organizations that are trained to do this.
Oh, good.
So you
Okay.
have at least somebody in a bi-ski or a monoski for the first time would probably have 2 staff with them the whole time,
Yeah.
Okay.
until you become more independent.
Yeah, that's good to know because we're on the borderline of being independent, but we always need a little help to, especially some are really low, you know, like
Yeah.
those low hand bikes or the skis to jump into. So
Right.
yeah, so dude, anything that sticks out as one of your favorites that you've been out to? That you
Skiing at Big Bear just recently, back in January, we went up to Big Bear, and I had stopped skiing maybe like for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And it was just great to be back out there and doing it. I remember when I first stopped skiing, I stopped because my shoulders were starting to hurt, but it was because I was learning how to ski and all that. And when I went back in January, it was like, oh, okay, no pain. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the winter time, going back up there with my family and getting back down there skiing and all that.
Okay. Yeah. So Becky, I have a question for you. What kind of how do you feel when you get to witness that aha moment or that light bulb going off in that newly injured patient's face or mind when he jumps onto a hand cycle for the first time or does his first outdoor adventure, if you want to call it?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
how
that's
does that-
why I do what I do. I completely love it. And to see have people have the opportunity to challenge themselves, and a lot of things, people had never done before their injury, they're trying new things, and they're seeing their confidence increase, and seeing them get better at what they do is amazing. I love it. And, you see it in the pictures you take, you see it when you hear them talking about it to other people, posting on Facebook. It's incredible.
They probably come in at the beginning and then they leave with a big smile on their face, like, oh, when's the next one? When's
Yeah.
the next one? Let me know.
And
right?
usually they're hooked after they do one thing, and it's getting them to do that first thing that's the challenge.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, partly why we're doing this, is to kind of get the word out and to tell people that it is safe, and we're there to support you and to educate you on, if you just have questions about something, or if you just want to come out and observe something, or, we have intro kind of things where you can try out a cycle at Rancho before you commit to a 2-hour ride on the beach. We're here to adapt things and to make them, easier for people to want to try.
Good. Make it more palatable for
Yeah.
people.
Right.
And I noticed that a lot of people will say, I've done more since I've been injured than I ever thought I would before. And I know that's been true for me so far. So
The same here,
Yeah.
just because I had a whole different background growing up, different culture that I was in, and this has been definitely an eye opener. It's
Makes
been
us
amazing.
it makes us better people. Yeah.
True, very true.
And sharing all this stuff with everyone, networking, and it's really important to get out there and talk to people and let them know it's okay. One time, just come on and try it. That won't hurt. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, you don't have to come out. But if you get it like it, that's where you build that momentum, that excitement, and to trying new things. So.
it's like crack, but in a new way,
Yeah.
in a good
True.
way.
True.
And I think that's why it's important for, the peer mentors and life coaches at Rancho to do these things. And we have a big segment of that group doing them now. And if you're going to encourage somebody to do something that you haven't done before, they're not going to listen as much as if you say, hey, I did this. It's just a huge difference.
Good deal. So, yeah, I mean, all this stuff is great information. As we get to wrap up, want to make sure we let our audience know maybe where they could get in contact with you, Juan, and maybe they
I have
could.
a Facebook page. It's
Okay.
under my name.
Type in your name,
Yeah.
Juan GARIBAY. Okay. Any email or
Email
anything?
is jg.nobarriers@gmail.com.
Okay, good deal.
And
good deal.
what about Pushroom? You're on there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Okay,
am.
so we can reach you on
Juan
there.
G3, I believe, at yahoo.com. Yeah.
All right, all
Good
right.
deal. How about yourself, Becky? Where can people get more information about your outdoor adventures, or maybe get in contact with you directly?
Yeah, we have the website at Rancho is kind of getting changeover right now, so we don't, and we're still working on the website, so we don't really have that, but we do
Okay.
have an email list that we email out every month, the calendar as well as trip information. So you can let me know. My the outdoor adventure email is just outdooradventure@rancho.org, and the phone number is 562-401-6335.
Okay.
And you can let us know if you have any questions. The calendars, hard copies are put in the Wellness Center at Rancho, in the Resource Center, and in the gyms every month, as well as the flyers for the trips.
Yeah, and we could try to put them on our events section on Pushroom too.
Yeah.
You know, we can try. We don't do it all the time, but you know,
We try.
we try.
Yeah, so all you Rancho people or Rancho clients, please come by the Resource Center, and if you haven't been so already, to get all this great valuable information to get you back out and enjoy your summer. It's going to be a good summer, and might as well take advantage of all the great activities out there for us, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add that right now the outdoor adventure program is just for former Rancho patients, but we do want to, in the future, open it up to the community, so people with disabilities that want to do this, and we do have interest already.
Okay.
You know, so, and we can also provide information on certain programs. So if somebody wasn't a patient, but they just want to know more about how they could go adaptive skiing or what programs they could hook up with, feel free to contact us too, and we can direct you to those programs and help you figure out, you know, how you can do what you want to try.
Yeah,
Good
make
to
it
know.
happen, Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the resource center is located in the 900 outpatient.
Yeah, so come
Yeah,
by.
I've been over there.
It's really nice. The way it's only like 2 years old, and it's wonderful what they did with the garden and everything. So
And the membership for the Wellness Center is $10 a month or 3 months for $25. So as long as you're a Wellness Center member, you have access to all the classes that they do, the gym, the support groups, as well as outdoor adventure.
Yeah, the gym is pretty cool.
It is.
yeah, that's a great way to socialize. Well, good deal. Thank you guys for,
Thank you guys for having me.
sharing that information with our community, and hopefully we can get more people out doing stuff.
All right.
Cool. All right, and you can reach us on Pushroom, www.pushroom.com, and also YouTube on our YouTube channel, Club Pushroom. Anywhere else?
No, yeah, that's pretty much our main hubs there where you can get all our programming. We are on iTunes as well. If you guys do iTunes, download us into your phones and take us on the go and listen to our episodes. Also, if you want to get in contact with us, you can reach us at info@pushrim.com with any questions, show topics. And again, if you guys have any questions for us directly, please feel free to email us, and we'll put them on our upcoming episodes and try to answer them on air. So with that, we leave you guys, and we want to thank again Becky and Juan for being with us, and I'm glad you guys stopped in to let our community know about all those good sports and activities you
Thank
guys
you for
have.
having
Thanks,
us.
guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and with that, we leave you guys till next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.